Hi everyone, I'm Lufir back again with another Awaken Chaos Era video. So in today's video, I'll be creating a hero build and spotlight on the newly released legendary hero in the game who is known as Rosalie, the Blade of Frostfire. She's basically a legendary hero from the Dragon Scale March, and she's a fire affinity hero with a twist where she's also able to do like some kind of like water damage to the fire enemies. Currently, she's available through this special summon banner, which will be ending in 10 days and 17 hours at the point of this video recording. And this special summon banner, what makes it different compared to the regular advanced summon banner, it is because it has a higher summon chance. So as you can see here, legendary heroes summoned in this event have a 50% chance of being Rosalie. If this character is not a Rosalie this time, it'll be guaranteed Rosalie for the subsequent legendary hero summon. So do take note on this. So if you want to get her, try to summon her through this special summon banner. And this special summon banner only occurs one time for every newly released hero. So this is a great opportunity to get multiple copies of her using your advanced summon crystals rather than using the Hierarchy Soul Arcana potion to ascend her up. So do I recommend you to get her? Or as an early and mid game player, I highly recommend yes, because she will help you immensely in speed farming 2 dungeons, which are the Roaring Tulpa as well as the Magisteria, that I'll go through in detail in this video. Alright, so let me give you an overview of what I'll be covering in this video. So the first one will be quickly going over Rosalie's character design as well as her animation, and then understanding what are her abilities so that we know how we can use her in the dungeons. And then once we identify what's her use case, we'll go over what are the stats to prioritize on her after identifying her role. Then moving on to her gears, I will recommend you what are the best gear sets to gear on Rosalie in case if you do not have certain gears that you're not able to farm based on your game progression. Alright, and then I'll quickly go over maybe her masteries to understand what which masteries are useful for her, and then after that I'll showcase her in various dungeons in this game. So there are a couple of dungeons which are like No Man's Land and Arcane Dominator dungeon. So since she's like a fire affinity hero, I will be showcasing her in the Bane Wraith. Bane Wraith is one of the places where you can farm the wood gems, crystal as well as obsidians to upgrade the wood hero skills. And then also will be showing you how you can use Rosalie to speed farm the flame lizard as well, using a combination of certain heroes to help you to speed farm the flame lizard to farm more of these fire gems, obsidian as well as crystals. And then moving on to the Arcane Dominator dungeon, I'll be also showcasing Rosalie on how you can use her to speed farm the Helmo stages using a mixture of elite, epic and legendary heroes depending on what you have on your account. Same goes with the Ash Magisteria. I'll also be showing you how you can tackle the fire imps using Rosalie's unique skill. Alright, so that's basically the gist of it. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so this is Rosalie's character animation. And look at her character design, looks pretty amazing with her scythe that can transform from frost to fire depending on the enemy she hit. So let's check out her character design here. So basically she's equipped in a red armor or maybe dragon skill with a transforming fire and frost scythe. And then she has this icy cloak or icy wings that helps her fly and deep dive to the enemy target. And she also has a long like purple and red hair, and also 2 long horns on her forehead with a tail behind her. She wears like high heels as well. Kind of interesting. Alright, so that's basically her character design. Really nice aesthetic. So let's quickly go over her stats. So she has an S rating for attack, A rating for critical rate, and B rating across the health, defense, and speed. So basically she's an attacker role because she has a S rating for attack and A rating for critical rate. So let's quickly go through her abilities to understand what she does. Starting off with her trait known as the Havoc Scythe. Gains 1 stack of block at the start of the battle. When attacking, if this hero has a fire scythe, ignores 50% of the target's defense. If this hero has a frost scythe, deals 50% splash damage to other enemies. And once you ascend her, she will gain 3 stacks of block rather than 1 stack at the start of the battle. And apart from that, she will also be able to launch a bonus attack with the special ability. So basically what it means by elemental advantage is when she's attacking wood or fire affinity enemies, she'll be able to perform this bonus attack with the special ability. Although it seems that she's like a fire affinity hero, when she attacks fire affinity enemies, right, she already transforms the Scythe into water type. As you notice here, right, she has 2 types, fire Scythe and frost Scythe. This frost Scythe is basically like the water Scythe. So basically she's like some sort of like a hybrid damage dealer who can change her affinity, but basically she's changing her weapon affinity rather than herself. So when she uses or equips this frost Scythe, right, she'll be regarded as a water hero rather than a fire hero. This allows her to do even more damage to the enemies. And moving on to a basic ability known as the Swift Cut. Gains fire Scythe or frost Scythe according to the enemy's element stats. Deals them 120% damage and then gains 1 stack of block. So this is one way for her to accumulate lots of blocks to help to reduce the damage intake. And then for her passive skill, the element conversion. When attacked by wood or fire enemies, gains 1 fire Scythe or frost Scythe respectively and launches a counter attack with the special ability. So this one helps to convert her weapon element, either fire Scythe or the frost Scythe. And this is her special ability, Scythe of Frostfire, removes 1 negative effect on this hero and deals 120% damage to the attacker and recovers health. Healing amount scales with this hero's attack. This effect cannot be triggered when this hero is controlled. So basically what it means by control is if she gets stunned or frozen or sleep. And let's say if the fire affinity enemies like the Magisteria boss that casts the bomb right on her, you should be able to instantly remove it and then counter attack with this special ability. So in order to benefit from the health recovery, right, it's best to build her with high amount of attack stats because the health recovery is based on this hero's attack. And then for her ultimate ability, Dance of the Frostfire, which has a 3-turn skill cooldown, gains a fire Scythe or frost Scythe according to the enemy's element stats, deals them 250% damage and then gains invincible for 1 turn. If the enemy is killed, gains invincible for 2 turns. So this one is really useful for like the Magisteria, where she will not take any damage when she casts her ultimate ability. So if the boss tries to nuke her down, she will not receive any damage at all. And this one is also really useful for the arena, where when she kills like a wood affinity hero with this ultimate ability, she gain a 2 turns invincible, which prevents the enemy from taking her down. Oh yeah, I've forgotten to mention that this element conversion, right, does not have any cooldown. This is really amazing. So this allows her to counter attack multiple times if she's facing a fire or wood hero, especially for the Magisteria. If the fire imp tries to keep on attacking her, then she'll be able to launch multiple counter attacks. That makes her super great for that dungeon. Alright, so that's basically her skill kit. So we know that she's really good for the Magisteria based from reading her skills. And then for the wood enemies, right, if she's using this fire Scythe, she'll be able to ignore 50% of the target defense, allowing you to deal a lot of damage to the Roaring Tulpa boss. Alright, so that's basically her abilities. Let's quickly go through the gears. So currently I'm gearing Rosalie in Assassin set as well as a Raider set. So as you can see here, Assassin set allows her to deal 50% more damage to the main target and have a 50% chance to deal 35% more damage. And Raider set just provides her with additional speed to go before the enemies. So what makes Assassin set really amazing is each time she counter attacks, right, she'll be able to deal 50% more damage. And this one does not have any limitations, something like the one from every set. Every set only helps you to deal 50% more damage, but only 1 time. But Assassin set allows you to increase Rosalie's damage as long as she performs the attack. So this is really good for counter attackers or joint attackers or attackers that can take multiple turns to attack the enemy. Let's say assuming that you're not able to farm Assassin set from the Wish of the Wind, you can use like her set, which you can farm from the Queen of Tides. So these are the sets that I recommend you to use. The first one would be Assassin set paired with Warrior or Raider. So if you have sufficient speed, you can switch Raider to a Warrior set. And let's say if you want her to perform multiple attacks on her basic ability, you can use Curse set instead of Assassin set in case if you do not have many good Assassin sets are lying around. Okay. So based from this, we know that she's the attacker hero. So we need to prioritize her on specific stats. So these are her overall stats. So I prioritize her attack, critical rate, critical damage, and then speed. You need to have her speed around 160 and above if you're using her for Void Tower Heart, because the enemies there are pretty fast. Around 160 speed is the minimum. So once you get the speed there, you can boost up your critical rate, critical damage, as well as attack stats. So that should deal even more damage. If you want her to be able to recover more health, right, you can distribute your critical damage points to the attack stats instead. So she'll be able to recover more of her health. Each time she gets attacked, she'll be able to heal herself for each counter attack. She does not apply any debuff, so focus and resistance stat is not useful for her here. Alright, so that's basically her stats. So let's quickly go over the gears to give you an understanding of what stats I use or I try to use on her. So this is the weapon. So I prioritize on the speed, attack, and critical damage. Defense is not really useful for her. Ideally, you want to get her more health percentage stats because attacker heroes does not have much defense stats to begin with. So health stats will be much more beneficial to squishy heroes. And then we have the helmet with some attack, critical damage, health percentage, and agility. Ideally, this agility should be critical rate. Moving on to the armor, we have attack percentage, precision, critical damage, and critical rate. And for the boots, I have attack boots with a focus, critical rate, critical damage, and +6 attack. Then I have a critical rate ring, which I can replace it with a critical damage ring once I have sufficient critical rate obtained from the masteries. So currently, Rosalie is not booked at all. So that's why I'm currently using a critical rate ring here. If you don't have a critical damage ring, you can substitute it with an attack percentage ring so that she can heal more from her counter attack. And last but not least, I have an attack ring, attack necklace. It provides speed, critical rate, defense percentage, and focus. Ideally, this defense percentage should be health percentage, and focus could be critical damage here. So there are some room for improvement to boost up her damage output even more. Her glyphs and abilities are all maxed out. Currently, I have not invested any mastery books on her, but if you do, try to get the critical damage up from the physic, and then max out her gear mastery effect to boost up her equipment, the weapon head, chest, feet, neck, and hands, and then also max out her abilities, especially to get the critical rate version 1 and version 2 for an additional 23% critical rate, and also unlocking the level cap for her skills so that her skills will be able to do even more damage. Like this ultimate will deal 20% more damage, this ability will do 10% more damage, as well as her counter attack will deal 10% more damage for each attack she received from the wood and fire affinity heroes. So that's basically Rosalie's build. So let's move on to showcasing her in the dungeons. Alright, so the first area that I'll be showcasing Rosalie will be the Flame Lizard at stage 9, and this team I am using Elite as well as Epic Heroes who are Celine, Elson, as well as Hori. For the spells, I'm using Smoldering Flames to clear the first wave quickly by having all 4 heroes as an attacker hero to boost up the Smoldering Flames damage, and then using the Sundering Purgatory on the boss to deal some damage on him. So this is one way you can clear the Flame Lizard in the early to mid game to farm those fire resources to upgrade your hero skill. So this one took around about 15 seconds to speed farm it. Alright, so Rosalie will be a good candidate for this Flame Lizard in case if you don't have any better heroes. For Flame Lizard stage 9, I'll be using legendary heroes as well as epic heroes to showcase how you can speed farm this area even faster. So here I'm using Poros to apply the increased damage taken on the boss, so that the heroes will deal more damage on top of the Sundering Purgatory here. So Rosalie will do some damage, followed by Hori. to bring his health, boss health low enough so that Hori can finish it off with the assistance of Sarah's AoE trait here. So this run took around about 24 seconds to complete. And moving on to the next dungeon, which is the Bane Wraith at Stage 9. And here I'll be showcasing Rosalie with epic and elite heroes who are Scarlet, Krista as well as Connor. The spells are roughly the same, Smothering Flames as well as Sundering Purgatory. So I'm using the Smothering Flame to clear the first wave quickly. And then moving on to the boss wave, we have Scarlet here. Her main role is to perform multiple attacks to take down that block buff that's cast by the boss. And then Trista on the other hand will assist Scarlet to take down the block buff as well. So when the boss performs his attack, right, the counter attack will deal massive amount of damage to the wood boss here. So this run took around about 25 seconds to complete. Now we are on stage 11 of the Bane Wraith, and this time I'm using legendary heroes to showcase how you can use these heroes to synergize with Rosalie. So now I'm using Shane to boost up my damage dealer as well as apply the increased attack down as well as karma down, so that this will deal more damage to the boss and reduce the damage dealt by the boss here as well. So Rosalie will do some damage here, although she does not deal much damage in the first round because of the block buff from the boss. But once the block buff is reduced, right, then she can deal massive amount of damage with her counter attack there. And there you have it. So Rosalie deals massive amount of damage due to her ignore defense on her ultimate ability, as well as all of her abilities based on her unique trait there. So here is another different composition that you can use. So this time, instead of using Scarlet or Trista, I'm using Eren as well as Shane. So Eren is, although Eren is a big affinity in Bane Wraith, right, he's there to allow all of his allies to perform their basic ability. This is really important. This will help Shane to apply that defense down to allow his heroes to do even more damage. And apart from that, it also helps to charge up Bully's Rage Meter even quickly. So there you have it. This run took around about less than 1 minute, around about close to 52 seconds. So this is one way you can speed farm the wood skills here. Now for the main meat here is the Ash Magisteria at Helmut Stage 2. So I'm using some elite heroes on top of Rosalie, who is the main damage dealer here, Rosalie. And then for the spells, I'll be using Sundering Purgatory as well as Guy's Renewal for the supplementary healing here. So let me quickly go through the roles of each hero. So basically, Celine will be assisting Rosalie for some damage support. And then we have Joseph here to boost up everyone's attack stats and defense stats. My heroes does not take up much damage. And then we also have a very rare hero that we've not seen for a long time, who is a Rujago. Basically, Rujago is here to apply the attack down consistently whenever the enemies attack him, so that the enemies will not do more damage on their ultimate ability there. And apart from that, Rujago also helps to allow you to speed farm this dungeon because he applies the unhealable. Because the boss will do this whirlwind attack, right, which allows him to recover a portion of his health, which slows down the run. So by having unhealable on the boss, right, this prevents the boss from healing himself and prolonging the run. Alright, so if you notice closely, right, if the enemies attack Rosalie here, she'll be able to perform counter attack, dealing some damage to the boss. And then she also can cleanse away the bomb debuff that's placed by the boss here. But do take note that in order for the boss to target Rosalie, she must have the highest attack stats in the team. Otherwise, you will target your second damage dealer here, which is Celine. Alright, so the boss health is already around about 1/3. And now he has already summoned the 5 imps. So if the 5 imps manage to survive Celine's attack, right, then if they try to attack Rosalie with the fireballs, then you can see Rosalie's counter attack there. But yeah, I think you can easily see her counter attack at the higher Helmut stages, like Helmut Stage 4. So currently I have Rujago as well as Joseph in Revival set. That's why they are able to sustain quite some time. For Celine, she's sustaining through her shield that she generates every round or every turn. Alright, so that's basically the battle result. 2 minutes and 57 seconds for Helmut Stage 2. Alright, so we are now on the Magisteria Helmut Stage 4, and this time I'll be showcasing Rosalie along with 3 epic heroes, which are easily obtainable if you have played the game for some time. So in this team composition, I have Hagrid, Jonathan as well as Natalia. Natalia is here as my primary damage dealer for the boss as well as 5 imps, and then Rosalie will be supporting Natalia as the secondary damage dealer to take down the 5 imps. And then we have Hagrid here. He's there to provide the increased max HP up to improve Jonathan's AoE shield, as well as providing at least 1 buff to Natalia, so she always have 4 buff to attack all of the 5 imps around the boss. So at here, Jonathan will apply the AoE attack down and defense down to reduce the damage dealt by the enemies, as well as allowing my damage dealer to deal massive amount of damage to them. Take note that I've already speed tuned Rosalie to go first, so that she'll be able to deal some damage to the 5 imps, so that Natalia can do the fatal hit and force the 5 imps to revive himself, and then we rely on Rosalie's counter attack. She needs at least around about 2 counter attacks from her special ability to wipe out all the 5 imps around the boss there. However, in order for that to happen, the 5 imps fireball must hit Rosalie, otherwise it will not proc the counter attack. And then currently this Magisteria boss is throwing the firebomb on Natalia. Ideally it should throw on Rosalie instead, so that she can perform more attacks on the boss. Currently my Natalia is booked, so that's why her attack stats is much more higher compared to Rosalie. And apart from that, she also has this attack up buff on herself, I think every 2 turns, which makes her attack stats even higher. Alright, so we are now on the second HP bar, and yeah, it's also quite useful to have Jonathan here to apply the unhealable. This will help speed up the run because the boss have an ability to heal himself. So by having unhealable, right, it will help to speed up the run. Alright, so this is the second wave that the 5 imps has been summoned by the boss, so we can check out how it works again. So this team is a 100% win rate. I've already tested this around about more than 30 times. So you can use this strategy for your account if you're looking for a solid damage dealer like Rosalie here. So previously, before the introduction of Rosalie, right, many people are struggling to clear Helmut Stage 3 as well as Helmut Stage 4 because the 5 imps can revive themselves after getting the fatal hit. Basically, fatal hit is the one that the damage is able to knock them out from the battle. So what players do is that they use like William to use the counter attack from to apply the counter attack buff on Natalia, so that she's able to wipe out the 5 imps when the 5 imps attack her. No, I think the boss attacked her, then she performed the secondary attack. But this also heavily depends that the shield is not broken, because if the shield is broken, then she have less 1 buff, and having less buff means she's not able to attack all the 5 imps because she needs at least 4 positive effects. Alright, so the battle result has ended. Let's check out the battle result here. So this one took around about 4 minutes and 28 seconds with this team setup. And now for the second type of battle, I'm showing you some sort of a more damage dealer build, damage dealer team here, where I replace Hagrid for Eren. And then, yeah, I just replaced two heroes. I just remove Hagrid as well as Poros. I replace Poros with Opal, or more powerful damage dealer, and then Hagrid for Eren. Eren does not do much damage, but is there to perform the ally joint attack. If you get Eren to be A5 or Ascension 5, you'll be also able to reduce the ultimate cooldown of all of his allies by 1 turn, which is pretty amazing. Alright, so as you can see here, so the rule for these damage dealers are Opal will be dealing massive amount of damage to the boss, which is where Rosalie is lacking at. But Opal has a weakness where she cannot target mobs here in this 5 imp. That's where Rosalie will handle those 5 imps. So each time the 5 imps perform the attack, as you can see here, she'll perform the counter attack. For Helmut Stage 3 as well as Helmut Stage 4, these 5 imps can revive themselves upon taking a fatal hit for the first time. On the second time, right, they'll be able to they'll not be able to recover from those fatal hits. So in the beginning, right, when they firstly introduced this helmet stage 3 and 4, right, many people are having difficulty to take down the 5 imps whenever they revive themselves back with 30% health. 30% or 50% health. With the help of Rosalie, right, you do not need to really think about it because she can take down these 5 imps easily without needing any assistance from other allies. So the more the 5 imps attack her, you'll be able to counter attack and slowly dwindle down those 5 imps health and defeat them all in one go. Right, so now as you can see here, my main damage dealer for the boss has been down. Now we are now relying on Rosalie to perform the finishing kill on the boss as well as the 5 imps here. So this is where Rosalie shines. And now the bomb plays the bomb and she cleanses it herself and finish off the boss with her Frostfire. So let's see how fast this takes. So this one took around about 3 minutes and 34 seconds, which is pretty fast. Alright, so let's move on to the Roaring Tulpa dungeon. So I'm now in the Helmet stage 2. So in this dungeon, I'll be using some elite heroes along with Rosalie, who are Raven, Olsen, as well as Connor. So Connor is here to provide the attack up and healing. And by gearing him in a pit set, right, can also provide shield to heroes to increase their survivability, especially for the squishy heroes like Olsen and Raven. Raven is here to deal some damage, and she's also capable of applying poison to the enemies. And poison deals damage based on their max health, which is quite good. And then I have Olsen here, basically is there to apply the defense down on the enemy in case the Sudden Purgatory defense down has expired. So I've already built my heroes in this turn order. So as you can see, right, if the enemies try to attack Rosalie here, she will then perform the counter attack. Alright, so that's the first counter attack, second counter attack, and the third counter attack. So there's a difference between Rosalie's fire side here. It does not deal any splash damage compared to like the Ash Magisteria. What you're seeing here is basically like single target damage, but deals very high amount of damage. It is because that her fire side, right, is ignoring 50% of the defense. And if you have the 50% ignore defense along with the defense down, you can see a massive damage dealt based from Rosalie here. Raven got killed by the counter dealt by the boss. So yeah, you need to be careful of that as well. Alright, so the battle has ended. Let's check out the battle result. So this battle took around about 2 minutes and 10 seconds. You can swap out Raven with Zachary if you have better 5 heroes on your team. Next on the list here, I have the Roaring Tulpa Helmet Stage 4. And this time I'll be showcasing Rosalie with some legendary heroes. So these are the legendary heroes that are used to speed farm the Roaring Tulpa, which are quite popular, who are Bella, Florence, and Valeria. You can also use Garo here. So let's say assuming that you're an early to mid game player who just joined the game, you might not have Bella or Garo. So you can take this opportunity to use or to summon Rosalie here. So Rosalie is some sort of like Bella, like a specialist for Roaring Tulpa, because she also ignores defense. Where Bella also ignores a portion of the enemy's defense and deals massive amount of damage, something similar to how Natalia works. The more buff she has, the more damage she can deal. And previously I was using Garo in this team formation. I have Garo, Bella, Valeria, and Florence to speed farm the Roaring Tulpa. So now I'm just basically swapping out Garo with Rosalie to see how fast they can take down this boss. Usually I can clear this Roaring Tulpa Helmet Stage 4 within like 7 to 8 rounds itself. But that one is with a Garo with a A5. Okay, so it seems that the true damage dealt by the boss, the AoE true damage, does not proc a counter attack. It needs to be like active damage dealt to Rosalie in order for her to perform the counter attack there. Okay, Galera is helpful here to apply the defense down, so she's very helpful in this team. Alright, so let's check out the battle result and see how fast it took. So this team took around about 2 minutes and 33 seconds, which is somewhere similar to my Garo team. Alright, so that's the end of my video showcasing Rosalie's abilities in various areas in the game. Do let me know down in the comments below what do you think about her after seeing her in action. And if you have any questions regarding about her, you can ask me so I can test her out even more. And if you found this video helpful, do give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to my YouTube channel, click on the subscribe button as well as ringing the notification bell to stay up to date whenever I upload a new video on this channel. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!